The story begins on Clintar, a dark and mysterious planet that had been turned into a massive prison. This prison wasn't ordinary. It was created by the symbiotes themselves, designed for only one being, Knull. Knull, the god of darkness, the original creator of all symbiotes, was now imprisoned by his own creations. In his deep, echoing voice, Knull declares that no one can escape him, because he is the god of the abyss itself. He explains that long ago, the power of light destroyed his empire, and the symbiotes he created betrayed him, locking him away in this living prison. But now, everything is about to change. Knull reveals that a codex has finally been created, and that codex is the key to his freedom. Once it is found, the prison will break, and he will rise again. Without hesitation, Knull commands his terrifying creations, the xenophages, to spread across every corner of the universe and search for the codex. He warns that once he is free, he will burn every planet to ashes and erase all symbiotes from existence. With pure darkness, Knull opens an interdimensional portal, and the xenophages step through, beginning their hunt. But this bar isn't from Eddie's universe. It belongs to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Back in Spider-Man No Way Home, when Doctor Strange cast the spell to erase Spider-Man's identity, Eddie and Venom were accidentally teleported into the MCU. Inside the bar, Eddie learns about Thanos and other Marvel superheroes from the bartender. But before Eddie can learn more, Doctor Strange's spell reverses, sending Eddie and Venom back to their own universe. However, a small piece of the Venom symbiote is left behind in the MCU. Back in his own universe, Eddie finds himself standing in the exact same bar, but he notices something strange. The bartender here has longer hair than the one from the MCU. Venom excitedly tells Eddie that they're drunk and decides to make him a special drink. Taking control, Venom uses his tentacles to mix the drink, but ends up destroying the entire bar in the process. The bartender watches in shock as tentacles move on their own. Eddie tells Venom that he wants water, not alcohol, but Venom replies, "We are men. We don't drink water." Venom quickly finishes the drink, while the bartender starts wondering if he's the one who's drunk. As Eddie is about to leave, he notices a news report on the TV. The police are still searching for Eddie Brock, questioning him in connection with Detective Patrick Mulligan's mysterious death. The authorities suspect Eddie might be responsible. Eddie becomes nervous. Venom points out that if this news is reaching Mexico, then Eddie's face must be everywhere back in San Francisco, which is why they can't go back. Eddie says he can't spend his entire life hiding, so he decides to go to New York. He explains that he knows a judge there, someone who once forced him out of the city, out of fear that Eddie would expose his corruption. Now Eddie plans to return and blackmail the judge, proving his own innocence. Venom happily agrees, saying he's always wanted to dance on the Statue of Liberty, and with that, they hit the road. On the way, Eddie hears strange dog noises coming from nearby. Something feels off. Venom senses trouble too, and mentions that he's hungry. He suggests they find whoever is hurting the dogs and eat them. Following the sounds, they enter an abandoned house, where they discover several dogs locked inside cages. Eddie realizes these are fighter dogs, captured by criminals. Moments later, a group of Mexican gang members arrives, the same people who imprisoned the dogs, likely planning to sell them. The gang opens fire on Eddie, but it's useless. Eddie transforms into Venom, taking no damage at all. Venom frees the dogs, and then devours the gang members because they were bad people. After that, Eddie leaves the scene. But in the shadows, something terrifying watches from a nearby building. A xenophage monster has arrived in Mexico, hunting Venom. Neither Eddie nor Venom notice it, and the xenophage can't detect Venom either, because Venom isn't in his true form yet. And this is only the beginning. Meanwhile, using a vast network of CCTV surveillance, a secret organization known as Imperium has been tracking Eddie Brock's movements. Imperium is a classified research organization that studies symbiotes like Venom, and now they want Venom himself for experimentation. After learning about Eddie, General Rex, a high-ranking member of Imperium, arrives at the same bar where a small piece of Venom was left behind. General Rex secures that symbiote fragment and knocks out the bartender, the only human who had witnessed Venom taking him into custody. Ben, a female scientist working for Imperium under Area 51. Along with her team, she has been researching symbiotes for years. Inside the lab, we see every symbiote that has ever come to Earth, all of them, except Venom. General Rex hands over the symbiote fragment recovered from the bar to Dr. Ben for analysis. Soon after, Dr. Ben and General Rex enter a restricted lab room where Patrick Mulligan is being held alive. Patrick is the same police officer whose death made Eddie the prime suspect. Through their conversation, we learn the truth. Patrick did die, but when a symbiote was allowed to bond with his dead body, it brought him back to life. The symbiote inside Patrick begins speaking to Dr. Ben and General Rex, warning them about an incoming extinction-level threat, a future where countless lives will be lost. It tells them about Knull, a being who wants to break free and destroy everything. The symbiote explains that symbiotes are not evil, and that Knull must never be released. Venom carries something called the Codex, a key that must never fall into Knull's hands, because if it does, the entire world will be wiped out. General Rex asks how they can stop this catastrophe. The symbiote answers coldly, they can't. Knull has existed since before the universe itself, and as long as Venom and his host are alive, the Codex will continue to exist. General Rex realizes something disturbing. If either Venom or Eddie is killed, the Codex will be destroyed. That's when General Rex makes a decision. Eddie Brock must die. Dr. Ben strongly objects, but Rex responds angrily, saying that many of his soldiers have already died because of that alien thing. Knull cannot be defeated, so they have only two options: kill Venom or kill Eddie. And with that, General Rex walks away. Dr. Ben is left confused, but she still believes in the symbiotes. In the next scene, we see Venom clinging to the outside of an airplane, with Eddie hanging on, trying to sneak into New York without tickets. Suddenly, a xenophage monster appears on the plane. Because Venom is in his true form, the xenophage can now sense the Codex inside him. The creature attacks. Venom barely manages to escape, jumping off the plane mid-air and transforming into a parachute, saving Eddie's life. Once they land safely, Eddie asks Venom what that monster was. Venom explains that it was a xenophage, sent to hunt them down and steal the Codex. Eddie is completely confused, so Venom finally tells him everything from the beginning. Now Co needs the Codex to escape. The Codex exists inside a symbiote only if that symbiote once used its powers to bring its host back from death. Eddie confidently says that means they're safe, because he never died. Venom reminds him of the truth. During the fight with Riot in the first movie, Eddie did die, and Venom revived him. That moment created the Codex. Venom also reveals that xenophages can only detect the Codex when Venom fully transforms. So from now on, Venom decides he will avoid fully bonding with Eddie to stay hidden. As they continue forward, they come across a horse. Venom bonds with the horse, making massive superhuman leaps, racing Eddie toward New York at incredible speed. But they are no longer alone. General Rex and his team arrive, opening fire on them. Venom knows that if he fully bonds with Eddie, the xenophages will immediately track them, so he makes a painful choice. He leaves Eddie alone near a river, bonding instead with a fish, then a frog, trying to stay hidden. But Imperium soldiers have already arrived. They begin attacking, closing in on both Eddie and Venom, and the hunt has officially begun. When Venom realizes that Eddie's life is in danger, he immediately bonds with him again. But the moment that happens, the xenophage monster detects the Codex's location and arrives to kill Venom. Venom barely manages to escape with Eddie. However, the xenophage unleashes its rage on General Rex's soldiers, slaughtering many of them. General Rex watches this in complete shock, furious at both the monster and Eddie Brock. Meanwhile, as Eddie and Venom continue their journey toward New York, Eddie meets a man named Martin, who is traveling with his entire family by car. During their conversation, Eddie learns that Martin is obsessed with aliens. He has always wanted to see one, learn about them, and that's why he's taking his family to Area 51. After hearing rumors that aliens are secretly researched there, Eddie decides to join Martin and his family. Martin shares food with Eddie and agrees to give him a ride all the way to New York City. Soon enough, Eddie arrives in New York with Martin's family. After dropping Eddie off, Martin and his family continue their journey toward Area 51. Using Venom's help, Eddie changes his appearance and enters a casino where he unexpectedly meets Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen is overjoyed to see Eddie and invites him to dance with her. Eddie refuses, but Venom insists. As Eddie dances with Mrs. Chen, he gets too excited, and Venom begins to transform inside his body. The moment Venom partially emerges, the xenophage monster senses the Codex clearly and arrives at the casino. Realizing the danger, Venom immediately returns Eddie to normal form. As a result, the xenophage loses track of them and leaves. The threat seems gone, but only for a moment. Soon after, General Rex's team storms the casino. They knock Eddie unconscious and use an advanced extraction device to forcibly remove Venom from his body. Venom is sealed inside a containment unit, and both Eddie and Venom are taken to Imperium's secret lab inside Area 51. When Eddie wakes up, he finds himself inside an Imperium laboratory. Moments later, General Rex enters, consumed by anger. Blaming Eddie for the xenophage attack and the deaths of his soldiers, Rex shoots Eddie without hesitation, but the bullet has no effect. Unbeknownst to Rex, Sadie, Dr. Ben's assistant, had already opened Venom's containment unit. Venom flows back into Eddie's body. Eddie transforms into Venom once again. The moment Venom fully emerges, the xenophage detects their exact location. It storms into Dr. Ben's secret lab inside Area 51, causing absolute destruction. The monster begins slaughtering Imperium soldiers. Seeing the chaos, Sadie makes a bold decision. She releases every symbiote locked inside the lab. Her plan is simple. Only symbiotes can fight a xenophage. Freed from their containers, the symbiotes immediately begin bonding with nearby humans. Each symbiote has unique powers, and together, they attack the xenophage. A massive battle erupts. Despite their combined strength, the xenophage proves overwhelmingly powerful, devouring multiple symbiotes during the fight. Realizing the danger, Eddie runs outside the lab. The xenophage follows him. Outside, Eddie sees something terrifying. Martin and his family are there, having arrived at Area 51 to see aliens. humans. When Eddie realizes they're in danger, he rushes toward them and quickly moves them to a safe location, making sure they aren't harmed. Even with everything at stake, Eddie chooses to protect innocent lives. And now, with the xenophage loose, the final battle is inevitable. All the freed symbiotes now bond with nearby humans and unite as one force, launching a massive attack against the xenophage monster. At first, the symbiote army begins to overpower it, but the victory doesn't last long. During the battle, many symbiotes are killed and devoured by the xenophage. Enraged, the creature lets out a terrifying scream, calling for reinforcements. In the next moment, multiple portals open, and more xenophage monsters pour through. Together, they overwhelm the symbiote army. In the middle of the chaos, Eddie and Venom are badly injured. Venom takes Eddie to a safe location and finally tells him the truth. The only way to stop this is to destroy the Codex. And the only way to destroy the Codex is for Venom to sacrifice himself. If either Eddie or Venom dies, the Codex will be erased forever. Venom understands that as long as they remain alive, Connell will keep sending xenophages to Earth. So Venom makes his final decision. For one last time, Venom fully bonds with Eddie and charges into battle. He gathers all the xenophages into one place, then separates himself from Eddie's body. Venom absorbs every xenophage into himself and drags them toward the acid chamber, a weapon designed to destroy Area 51 if necessary. General Rex presses the activation button. Deadly acid pours down, melting Venom and the xenophages together. As the acid spreads everywhere, Venom shields Eddie, covering him with a metal barrier to save his life. Eddie watches helplessly as Venom dies right in front of him, unable to move, unable to stop it. Moments later, General Rex detonates a massive explosion, destroying himself, Venom, and all remaining xenophages. Area 51 erupts into flames as the entire facility begins to collapse. Dr. Ben tries to escape with her assistant Sadie, but Sadie falls behind. With no time left, Dr. Ben releases the last remaining symbiote, Agony, and allows it to bond with her. She transforms into a high-speed female symbiote, using her incredible speed to rescue Sadie. For the first time since childhood, Dr. Ben realizes something unbelievable. The arm that was paralyzed by a lightning strike is now completely healed. Area 51 is completely destroyed. Later, we see Eddie Brock still alive. Venom had saved him with the metal shield. When Eddie opens his eyes, he finds himself in a hospital. A military officer informs him that because of his bravery and his actions alongside Venom, the government has cleared all charges against him. Eddie is finally free, but there's one condition. The truth about Area 51 must remain a secret. Elsewhere, Kamlo speaks from the darkness. He declares that with Venom gone, his freedom is inevitable. Soon he will rise and wipe out every planet and every life in existence. No one will be left to stop him. Post-credit scene, we see the bartender who was captured by General Rex. He is still alive, staring in shock at the ruins of Area 51. Nearby, we notice a broken test tube, and crawling beside it is a black cockroach.